Welcome to the I Ain't Shit podcast. So today, let's talk about letting go of pain, aka grief. Um, in general, as superhuman or a superman as you like to believe you are, um, there's only so much pain that you can contain before it starts to spill out to other people or other things, other activities, other actions. So, for example, um, when you look at most drug addicts, they do come from the idea of pain, whether it's childhood, a tragic event, whatever. They hold on to that pain, that grief, and it also translates into um, sexual promiscuity, abusiveness, um, narcotics, drugs, anything bad. It kind of falls into even in familial. You could be upset at the world and you take it out on your daughter, son, whatever the case is. Um, you cannot have you can't have your emotions still be strong, but you can't bitch and be strong. There's a very big difference. Because if I come to you and I tell you, I don't know, like I'm not gonna go, oh, the way you said it hurt my feelings. No, like no one's going to respect that at all. But if you're like, I don't even know. Actually, that's a very good question. I don't know too many times where I'm like sad emotional, but there are times for it. Like if I see my son struggling to say something, or I see someone being isolated, I could kind of put myself in their shoes and feel their pain, and I might shed a thug tear, you know, here or there. I am human. Um, but I think the reason why people are afraid to show off their pain is because it makes them very vulnerable. You know, but that is what makes you human. Even Superman has to put down his cape and be Clark Kent for a minute. You are human as much as you or the world or anybody else would like to think otherwise. You are a human being, and letting go of pain is like holding a burning rope. Like how you played tug of war and it just went. That is what holding on to pain is. But for a lot of individuals, they know nothing but pain, so that is the only thing that they can hold on to. And they constantly just burn their hands. But when you let go, it's feeling possibly empty is the next scary part. It's you're so used to the you're so used to the pain in the room that if you don't experience it, you don't really know how to function without it. It is like being exposed. But how else do you grow? How else do you grow? And it's if you let go and you try to figure out whatever that was missing, because there is something missing. Don't know what. It's unique to every individual, but something was missing. Um, and then the next step would be forgive the people that did hurt you. And don't forgive them, forgive them for you. Because they're out there living their lives. You're the one sitting in a dark room drinking a bottle, and you're wondering why so and so did this to you. But in that scenario, just look how desperate that situation is versus letting go. You allow your emotions to be, but you're not self-harming yourself. And it doesn't have to be just necessarily alcohol. You can insert women, you can insert drugs, you could even insert work. There's certain times where I know a couple people that they'll get major surgery and then still go and work an extra shift because I have to. At that point, you're just you're you're delusional. That I really have no other way to have it. Um, and the most important, you having your emotions does not make you weak, but allowing your emotions to build up and fester and it spills on everybody else, that is your fault. You're not weak for being emotional, but it is your fault for not controlling your emotions. And that is something that as society we really don't push forward anymore. It's just harmful to all parties because they're left scot free and you're left trying to figure out how do I how do I deal with this chaos now? Because nowadays nobody ever realized they can't take accountability for their pain either. They like to point the fingers. They really enjoy to pointing the fingers, but they don't necessarily enjoy the fact that I caused someone pain and it is my fault. They would immediately blame, oh, but it was the drugs, it was the alcohol, it was this, it was that. No, that is weak. Excuses are weak. Uh, Running away from the truth is weak. Crying is not. And that part doesn't necessarily bother me, the fact that like I know that I cry because like people would tell me like, oh, you look like a bitch when you do it. So like what are you gonna do next once I tell you so? What could you do? Walk away from me? Great. If a tear is enough for you to walk away from me, then we weren't friends, we weren't anything towards each other in the first place. If you're okay with living in a world to where you're supposed to be stone cold at all cost, then I'm cool with not being around you. Because then if anything's bothering me, I know for a fact that I can never come to you. So then if that's the case, why would I have you within my life at that point? But the idea for today is to let go of your pain. It does nothing but harm you. It does nothing but hurt others. And it's the longer you hold on, the more of a recovery of your hands will have to be. The more your soul has to recover. Because you're talking possibly years to decades worth of pain. And it's not like it just disappears. It takes time. It takes time, and then also takes time for you to figure out what's the next move. What are some things that doesn't trigger that emotion? All these things they really really matter. Um, yeah, yeah. Let go of the pain, man. It's not it's not worth holding on. So, with that being said,